That's moving to the north towards West Hope and Weston. So where we are on the map here is just southwest of Bowling Green, west of Findlay, east of Defiance, north of Ottawa, and south of Napoleon. So right now, the prime area where we're seeing some rotation in the cells is right here on the map. So outside of that, there are some severe storms and strong storms. This again, I think you were just talking about this. This is the one producing perhaps half-dollar sized hailstones.
Yes.
So that's the one in Paulding County that's warned for a severe thunderstorm. But it's those areas where we see the red next to green, like down here, again, New Bavaria, just west of Hamler, Holgate area. And then this one, which is moving to the north, which is concerning because these storms are moving in different directions. So definitely something going on with those two cells. So if we draw the arrows, let's see if a new warning just came out. No, it's still out west of us. So here we go. So this cell, new event, Paulding County. So that storm now in Paulding County has now been warned for a possible tornado. We just talked about that. That was the cell right here. I think that's the area of rotation that we're watching very carefully. So
Yes.
Let's summarize things here. Let me put the regular radar back on so we can get a kind of our bearings and talk about things. That new warning goes until 6:30 for Paulding County. That's a
severe thunderstorm warning.
That's a severe thunder. Okay. My bad. So that's a severe thunderstorm warning?
We're backing up.
Okay.
We're retracting. We've got one active tornado warning.
Okay.
And I believe, Jay, where we got a little bit confused is because they are trimming it down just a little bit. You kind of saw it there just before we took back to Jay and I. They're slowly trimming it down to exclude certain areas. So if we could take the radar full screen, thank you very much. And I'll show you what I'm talking about is we have this one tornado warning. It's one that we're seeing just in southern Henry County. There's not a new one by any means, but it has been trimmed a little bit. It still includes parts of northern Putnam County and southern Henry County, but it's just, this is their sign, their way of showing us at the National Weather Service that they're watching, and they're watching each loop come in to give us a great idea of where exactly needs to be taking cover, who needs to be taking cover, and when. So it appears if you're in the very southwestern tip of Henry County, short term is you're in the clear from this tornado warning. Good news for you guys. Southwest of you, though, is this hailmaker. $half-dollar sized hail is what we're seeing with this one. That's what prompted that severe thunderstorm warning. And like we've been mentioning since the weekend, there is a lot of rotation in our neck of the woods. It's one of those events in which they're going to be coming on through, and then all it takes is a little bit of spin to get these things going. And that's what we're seeing in southern Henry County, which is our only tornado warning here in the area. But that one that we're watching fairly closely is in southeastern Paulding County, and the newest warning that Jay was touching on.
All right, let's review. If you could just hit loop on that one for me, Aaron, and we can talk about reset. We're getting close to the top of the hour. We are interrupting the regular programming, the regular newscast this evening for our second tornado warning of the evening. Had one about 4 o'clock, right at 4 o'clock, 4:05 this afternoon. That one was for areas out to our east, let's say eastern Wood County, Ottawa County. Had a reported funnel cloud in Rocky Ridge, which would be right about here. No touchdowns, but there were some power outages, some reports of some wind damage with that cell. That's long gone, okay? But now we have this bigger broken line of clusters of storms, and they have been producing what we think, we've heard on from the Weather Service, this cell has been producing confirmed touchdowns in Indiana. So that's maybe just going to clip parts of Hillsdale County. That bears watching. The active tornado warning we have right now is in southern Henry County. You can see the additional lightning strikes forming. That one had a nice couplet, nice area of rotation that is what prompted the warning. That goes until 6:15, surrounded by a severe thunderstorm warning for winds up to 60 miles per hour and penny-sized hail. So think of a overall wind event and some very heavy rain, and then within the core of that, the southwestern corner of that corner of the storm that is, that's where that rotation is. That's moving to the east at 20 miles per hour. So here's I-75. That's the storm we're most concerned about. Additionally, down here in Paulding County, this is the cell that's producing perhaps the $half-dollar sized hail. So think of an 1.25 inch hail, bigger than a quarter, 1.25 inch, and that is producing large hail and perhaps winds up to 50 or 60 miles per hour. That is moving to the northeast at 35 to 40 miles per hour. And what's a bit more concerning, so we have these current active warnings. By the way, if you're in southern Henry County. Take cover. Go to your basement, go to an interior room, hallway, storm shelter if you have one, because this storm is tracking to the east just south of Highway 18, just west of 109, so Hamler area, New Bavaria area, Custer, there's the secondary cell, Bartlow's here, Belmore, just north of Lipsick. Officially Lipsick, you're not in that warned area, but that cell does bear watching. And if you're in Lipsick, we're watching that cell in Paulding County to eventually move your way shortly. So if you're not listed in these cities we're naming, be aware. Be storm ready tonight. Be weather aware. Know where to go. Know where to take cover in case your location is put under a warning, which you can get, by the way, from us right here or on the cell phone. 13 ABC. Okay, 13 first alert weather. It will warn you. It can, if you allow it to know where you are, it will warn you if you're in one of these polygons. So here's that rotation, Aaron. We're seeing that nicely with Doppler radar. That's the area. You see the green next to the red. This is southwestern Henry County, and that's moving to the east. And what we're also concerned about is this storm that's in western Wood County that's now moving to the north. So if you imagine this storm's moving this way, this storm's moving that way, it's not all in the same direction. So that's just a confirmation of us looking at our data behind the scenes that there is wind shear in the atmosphere. And that's one of the reasons we're getting strong storms, and also one of the reasons we're getting these areas of rotation and these tornado warnings versus your severe thunderstorm warnings. This loop really tells the story. So this cell not warned, watch this thing go to the north. That may merge with part of this storm, which is warned, and there's the couplet right here. So there's Napoleon. We're in southwestern Henry County as that moves to the east. And then this, you see that red? That's your straight line wind, all right? That's how bright that red is. That could be winds over 60 or 70 miles per hour, just by my eye. Just noticing that's the brightest red we have on the map right now. So that will eventually be into western Putnam County, holding together kind of north of 224, and crossing through areas that are currently under severe thunderstorm warnings and that tornado warning. So a little brighter look. So there you go. So there's the green, different look at this. Again, this is all a way to look at the wind inside of a storm with our velocity products. There's the severe storm. There's the damaging windstorm with very large hail. And the warnings go until 6:15 for the tornado warning, and then 6:30 for the severe thunderstorm warning. Paulding, go.
So they actually canceled it. They canceled that tornado warning, but they are still saying that there is large hail and damaging winds like Jay was touching on with that system. So as of right now, there's not an active tornado warning in the area, but you saw it just a second ago on our velocity map that there are several storms that are trying to rotate with this, and we still have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in the area, 1 tornado warning just outside of the viewing area too, up near Hillsdale. So stay weather aware. We're going to be watching. As of right now, no active tornado warnings are here in the viewing area, Jay.
Yeah, we do have those severe thunderstorm warnings. They just continued the one for Paulding County. Their latest report here that the severe thunderstorm continues, winds 60 miles per hour. You also have, and we're seeing, Aaron showing me the behind the scenes. I mean, it still looks like there's some rotation with these storms. So let's stay on for about a minute longer just to see if any of these, as the Weather Service is going through their procedures, I mean, they have to cancel a warning, add a warning, look at the Doppler data. They have multiple employees that are in charge of issuing these warnings. We do not issue warnings. We do not issue advisories and watches. We do pass them along to you. We also, you may have noticed, comment that we see something that looks suspicious or that looks a little bit like something that bears watching, and then a warning comes out. So it's a team effort, us and the National Weather Service working for you to keep you safe. But no matter how you look at this radar over my shoulder, it's going to be an active couple of hours. Whether the warnings are issued, you may get a gust of 40 miles per hour that does damage to a fence or a tree. It doesn't have to be a severe storm that it reaches, 58, 59 miles per hour, which would be a severe storm. So, so just be prepared for these tonight. The active warning we have is only Paulding County at this point. In southern, we still have the severe thunderstorm warning for Henry. They dropped the tornado part of that?
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
So that's the cell. Let me zoom into it. This is the active severe thunderstorm warning for that cell that did have some rotation. Now it's more of a straight line wind and a hail maker. So that's south of Holgate, west of North Baltimore, south of US 6. So that's the southern part of Henry County. And then the second one we have is over here. It's about to enter Putnam County. So we're on the Paulding-Putnam County line. and there's the county line right there. So that storm's just east of Melrose, east of Grover Hill, northwest of Kalida, and west of Palmer. That's moving to the east at about 30 to 40 miles per hour.
The only two warnings that we have, no tornado warnings as of right now. We will continue to watch should anything turn to that sort of thing. Again, it's a team effort. Those at the National Weather Service doing their best to collect information at the same exact time we are. So we're all have the same mission. And we actually do have a new tornado warning, Jay. And it's for that same cell we've been watching. So this new information coming in, it's brand new, is for northwestern Putnam County and southeastern Paulding County.
Nope, southeastern
Paulding
Paulding,
County.
northwestern Putnam.
Okay, I got it.
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, it's moving.
Let me show you.
Yeah, Jay's going to show you here real quick. There's the idea. It's just east of Paulding.
What time?
Northeast
Expiration?
of Ottawa. That's going to be expiring at 6:45.
All right, so this is brand new. This is the one we just talked about. Again, as we were thinking of perhaps wrapping up coverage of weather, we were saying, okay, the radar behind the scenes, we're saying that looks suspicious. And we just talked about that, how we work hand in hand with the Weather Service, which is why we have our phones with us tonight. We're interacting with the Weather Service, getting reports of what they're seeing, and sometimes relaying what we're hearing or seeing from you. So here's our new warning. This is until 6:45, folks. Eastern Paulding County, northwestern Putnam County, that cell that had perhaps half dollar-sized hail, winds to 60 miles per hour, now has some of that rotation. So we're watching plenty of lightning with this, very heavy rainfall. But if you live in this area, so we're north of 224, so Findlay to Ottawa down to Van Wert, that's 224. This is Highway 224. Here's 127, so we're east of Paulding, and then we're west of Hamler and Ottawa. Hamler, you have a severe thunderstorm with hail and winds to 60, but at the rotating part that we're most concerned about when it comes to a possible, nothing confirmed, a possible funnel or a tornado, it's that cell right here. So as we look at it, you can see it moving to the east at about 30, 40 miles per hour. And there's your couplet. We say the word couplet. That's the green next to red. So the wind is blowing this way, and then right next to it, the wind is blowing in the opposite direction. So there's the cell as it develops. And you can see it was all red. I talked about this a few minutes ago. That's your straight line winds. But on the northern edge of that, here's your cell right there on the county line right now between Paulding County and Putnam County. That's where we see that possible rotation. And again, the radar beam's up a few thousand feet, so it's not looking at the surface rotation, but what we deduce and infer is that there's rotation above, and that can sometimes lead to at least a funnel, if not some kind of a funnel touching the ground, which would be a tornado. So can we zoom in a little bit on that one, Erin?
Yes, absolutely.
And let's put a track on it. So it's just over, what highway is that there? Is it 633? I believe it's 633. So 633, if you zoom in a little bit more, I think we can get the county roads to pop up. There you go.
There we go.
There's 66 as it curves up. 613 or 633?
613.
613. So
That's
from
613.
Melrose, just east of Melrose, we have just southwest of Palmer. So we're zoomed in to pretty much the county line between Paulding and Putnam counties, folks. And this is the cell we're watching. There's Highway 15 as it snakes down. There's Grover Hill. Maybe you've heard of Grover Hill. It's down to the southwest. So there's the cell, and that's the area that may be producing that rotation. We're seeing reds next to greens. You can almost see some of that red as it rotates on through, and it produces that. So quick zoom out, if you will. Let's move into the east. Let's see here.
20 miles per hour.
So another slow mover to the east at 20, which we saw with that last warn cell. So that'll take it through, pretty much taking it out of Paulding County here in the next 5-10 minutes into parts of northeastern Putnam County. So here's the track on that as it moves off to the northeast. If you live anywhere near these cities, take cover. We're talking about interior rooms. Get away from the outside of your building and get in your building. Basements, under the stairs. Looking at places without windows, just checking here. Okay, another severe thunderstorm warning for Henry County.
Yeah, they're just extending that one.
Okay, so that one continues. All right, there it is for Henry County. But places away from windows, low, cover your head. And hopefully if you live anywhere in the area tonight, you're thinking about where to go in case a warning is issued where you are. So with this cell, the cell that was just warned, this goes through 6:45 p.m., tornado warning. DuPont 609, they'll be near you. Greensburg 629, Elm Center at 644, Pike Run Golf Club at 645, and then Lipsick at about 7 o'clock as it does exit the warned area But again, they issue these warnings, and we just project the path if it holds together. There's no guarantee it will or won't. But there's the new warning. They expanded that. So much of Henry County now, the southeastern half of Henry County is under that severe thunderstorm warning, and there's the active tornado warning that goes from Paulding County back into parts of Putnam County. And again, that's just east of Paulding, just north of Ottawa, and just southeast of Defiance. So an active evening. Aaron?
And now we're starting to get into Wood County territory, because this storm that we're seeing, this new severe thunderstorm warning just on the eastern side of Henry County, that is going to be more than likely. I mean, if we don't see this lose steam within the next 5 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised if they expanded to include more densely populated areas such as Bowling Green. It goes to show that these storms, even though that the air around us has been worked over by once severe tornado-warned storms, there's still a lot of energy for these to work with. And so we are watching very carefully for that severe thunderstorm warning to not only continue, but to continue to expand in area. So as far as tornado warnings, we only have the one, but there are several pockets of spin to this that we want to let you guys know about. And that is going to include that severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to go ahead and circle it right here. Just in southern Henry County, this one is again traveling more northeast at 20 miles per hour. That one's showing a tiny more broad spot of rotation rather, whereas that tornado warning, you can see the brighter colors down here. And that's what prompted that tornado warning if you had to compare the two different severe cells that we have going on right now. So other things that we're watching very closely, you might be tuning in east of Findlay, west of Tiffin. You're like, where's my warning? We don't have one for you guys, though it's not out of the question. I can see from our radar here that we do have a hail core starting to develop just crossing in from Wyandotte into Seneca County. And I mean, by all means, because we're seeing lightning with this too, it could very well strengthen, showing signs of it, that's for sure. And then all the way in Huron County too, Jay, these scattered storms just continue to work over this already worked over atmosphere. But as of right now, west of I-75 appears to be where the most our area of concern, really, and it's now starting to knock on the door of Wood County. That tornado warning only includes parts of Paulding and Putnam counties, but should that continue as well and needs to be expanded, could very well start to track into Henry County within the next 15 to 20 minutes or so.
Yes, so we're looking here again, we're zoomed in with that Doppler product, which is looking at the wind within the storm, and that's the cell we're most concerned about, 645, just north of, I think, the continental area. Looks like that storm is holding together, also getting what we call a little notch in this system. You can see right here. You see that little bit of a little bit of a V shape as the air is flowing into the storm. It took a little bit of a rounded turn, but there's continental. So wherever you see that notch, that could be some inflow into the storm. And if you think about it, the storm is just like an engine. It needs air to produce storms and produce the wind. So, what goes in must come out with the storm, and sometimes it comes out as the back end of this and as a funnel or a possible tornado. But so far, we're seeing here very intense weather. So we're in the northwest corner of Putnam County. That's continental. Here's Lipsick, there's Ottawa, and this is Paulding off to the west of that. So we're watching these storms as they move from west to east. This is an active warning through about 6:45 p.m., and these storms continue to produce the possibility of a possible funnel or even a touchdown of a tornado. So that's the storm we're most concerned about. New warning came in for southeastern Henry County. Those warnings go until about 6:15, 6:30. So getting close to that larger warning to expire. It's going to be that smaller warning. That's for possible hail up to quarter sized and some damaging wind within that cell. Lots of lightning too and heavy rain. So that's your typical severe storm. But as we've seen, we've talked about this wind shear in the atmosphere. And you see the indication that this cell here moving to the north, this one moving to the east. You know there's wind that's blowing from the south to the north ahead of the storm. So as that gets pulled in with that notch, that's an indication that there is that rotation. So one, that rotation enhances the strength of this thunderstorm, and two, gives us the chance for that possible tornado. So far, no reports from weather spotters within that cell of any touchdowns. The only report we have of any funnels or tornadoes today was near Rocky Ridge, which is in Ottawa County, and that was about 4:15, 4:20 this afternoon. But again, the atmosphere is prime for that, for these storms to start rotating. If we could, Aaron, can we zoom in a little bit before we get to some new information? I just want to show you where the storm's most intense. So there's Continental, just west of Palmer, north of Greensburg, north of DuPont, and very dark reds there, so probably some hail mixed in there, lots of lightning, and that possibly rotating part of the storm. All right, Aaron has some new information.
And you kind of were touching on it a second ago, Jay, but that tornado warning has been allowed to expire essentially in Paulding County. So now it only includes parts of Putnam County, the very northwestern corner of Putnam County, right over Continental. DuPont just northeast of you. I'll show you that velocity one more time to get you an idea. And this is kind of just showing that tight red that we're seeing here. Strong winds, and what other things we're seeing is, of course, the lightning with this as well. We continue to monitor a brand new warning, and this was one of the cells that we've been watching for broader rotation. So let's talk about what this one entails, Jay. What's the National Weather Service saying?
Well, this new warning, severe thunderstorm warning till 7 o'clock. This includes parts of Seneca, Wyandotte, Crawford, and Hancock counties. This is for winds up to 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail. So there are the counties listed as that was the storm. Aaron was just talking about this, that, you folks east of Findlay saying, where's my warning? This is an intense storm. Well, it has now reached severe limits. There's US 23, the 224 interchange or intersection. So Tiffin, you are now in the warned area. Findlay, you are not. It is just east of Findlay, so east of I-75, but up 23, just south of Fostoria, through the Tiffin area, most of Seneca County in this, not Upper Sandusky, it's north of you. So it's the northern sliver of Wyandotte, the eastern sliver of Hancock, and the majority of Seneca County. That's the brand new severe thunderstorm warning. This storm is moving to the, let's say, east at about 35, northeast at 35 miles per hour. Again, winds up to 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail with that brand new warning. So not much rotation within this one, but damaging straight line winds and that possibility of hail. So where will the leading edge of this be? Seneca at 617, Tiffin 626, Republic at 640. We have Green Springs at 645, Clyde 654, Bellevue 702. And then Margaretta at 716 again, if it holds together and it moves out of the current warning, if it's extended off to the east. So more intense cells trying to bubble up here in Huron County. Those may impact Erie County shortly. So no matter where you live tonight, be prepared for a strong thunderstorm or even worse. And these storms seem to be the overall threat. Damaging straight line winds, quarter-size hail when they do form, and that rotating storm we still have in western and northwestern Putnam County. That's the only active tornado warning we have as we zoom off to the west. So there's the new warning. That goes until 7 p.m. tonight. That's east of Findlay. But there's the storm that has some rotation within it. It's west of Palmer, north of 224. And it's out in the country here. But you can see there are, a lot of lightning strikes within that. There's your velocity, which has a little less of a look to it. We're seeing a tinge of green next to the tinge of red, not that really vibrant contrast when it comes to greens and reds. So we'll see if they continue this one. Still a severe storm. Winds within this may be topping 50, 55 miles per hour. Then we have that storm in eastern and southeastern Henry County. So there's Napoleon, there's Bowling Green, watching those cells as they're about to enter Wood County. If that holds together, that may move just near north of Bowling Green along the Maumee River. So that may have its eyes on the metro area, folks. So if you live in Toledo and you've been wondering about where we're interrupting the local news for ongoing tornado coverage, or at least the warning coverage, that cell may eventually hit Toledo. What is it, 619 right now? So give it about 45 minutes to an hour. We're talking up near Grand Rapids, Maumee, Perrysburg, and perhaps even farther north as more cells start to form. So far, most of Lucas County has been spared from these strong storms, but all this developing to our west still could move our way. So stay tuned. But we have active warnings in Henry County, Putnam County, Seneca County, eastern Hancock County, and northern Wyandotte County.
If you're tuning into Action News at noon, the timing is pretty much what we were saying, in which storms, severe ones, potentially tornadic ones, are going to start around 4. And then here in the metro area, we might not even get a flash of lightning until close to 8 o'clock. So things are holding very true to that. And we're going to be watching this particular severe cell up until we get a little bit closer.
New warning.
A new warning? Okay.
All right, we got a new one for Wood County now. That was that cell we just talked about to enter Wood County.
I was just about to put a track on that one.
So it includes most of Wood County. That's a severe thunderstorm warning, so it's for straight line winds and quarter-sized hail till 7:15.
And moving east at about 35 miles per hour, which is why it's been extended to include the entire county. So if you're in Providence, 622. Bowling Green, you're included in this. 637, Freedom, 654, Pemberville as well, 654. Now getting into Woodville. And Jay, this is the same spot that was severe warned now 2 hours ago. Also saw a bit of rotation over this spot as well. So already worked over atmosphere, already worked over air, but still pumping through these warnings. This is for straight line winds. Wind gusts up to about 60 miles per hour. Is there hail with this one? I didn't get a chance to look.
Quarter-size hail.
Quarter-size hail with this one. So that's the concern here is wind. Lightning, downpours, but wind. So if you see or live near any of these areas that you see in the top left corner of your screen, by no means are you in the clear for anything that is severe. It is heading your direction. It'll be there within the hour.
All right, so folks, you get the idea here. We have multiple warnings in multiple locations. Storms are moving to the east. Some are moving to the north and northeast. So it's kind of a chaotic weather map. It's not one of these lines that comes through. It's not one individual cell. So if you do live in Toledo, if you live in Bowling Green, if you live in Perrysburg, if you live over in Oak Harbor again, Fremont, we're not done just yet. It's about 6:22. We have continuing coverage of the storms in the area, and there are the warnings. So the most intense warning we have, which is why we're doing continuing coverage, is this cell in northwestern Putnam County that is a tornado warning, and it goes until 6:45.
6:45, so we're going to be here for a
So another
minute.
23 minutes or so until that warning comes off. It is a severe storm, so we've had no reports of funnel clouds. We have no spotters, we think, in that exact area at this moment, but that is producing some perhaps large hail, damaging wind, and it does have even now that look. If you look, it's more of a kidney shape to that one on the back edge. So still, there's the right shape for this one to produce. We haven't had any confirmation yet, but produce some kind of a rotating part of the storm, whether it's a funnel or a possible tornado. Yes?
The emergency manager down there actually was saying in our little chat about almost 5 minutes ago that they're in continental area where we're having this warned storm, they were seeing rotation. So that's being confirmed by emergency management down in Putnam County. Not anything on the ground, according to those at the Putnam County Office of Public Safety. The hail has stopped, still some heavy rain and wind. They do have the fire department out looking for any damages. Other spotter information out that direction is reporting pea-sized hail just about 2 minutes ago.
And interesting, do you see what just happened? A brand new warning just came out till 6:45, and it extends the tornado warning, but it extends it as a severe thunderstorm warning. So I think what we're seeing here is the transition, if you will, from a rotating storm to more of a straight line wind and hail maker. And there you go. There's your transition, right? So we're talking about that storm that did have the rotation we talked about to now a severe thunderstorm that does include the northwestern part of Putnam County, also parts of southern Henry County, and continues to move off to the east at about 35, 40 miles per hour. So a good sign that the rotation in that tight rotation we saw that may have been producing some kind of a funnel or a possible tornado, that rotation has weakened. This is now a severe thunderstorm warning till 6:45, but it did extend. That's one thing, is that it's holding together and now moving to the northeast. So look how much of the map's covered in orange. Those are your active warnings right now. Most of Wood County, the exception, the northern part. We also have parts of Seneca County, a couple of cells, even one developing near Fostoria. That may be producing a lot more lightning and some hail. That looks a little healthy, just northeast of Findlay too. So that, you see that, Aaron?
Yeah.
Right there, just northeast of Findlay. That may fill the gap between what we have warned areas. You see the gap? It couldn't be more in the gap. But that's
could not
moving to
be
the
more in the
northeast.
gap.
So anywhere here, okay, not too much going on with the Doppler.
No.
But if you live in Fostoria, you're surrounded by warnings. You have severe storms in the area. Let's treat this like you should be taking care of yourselves and some cover as well. But here you go, western Wood County. These are moving in. There's the warning that was canceled, and these storms continue to track off to the east and northeast. Main threats with all these, winds up to 60 miles per hour. And quarter-sized hail seems to be our main threats right now, in addition to that heavy rain and plenty of lightning.
And we're not done. We're going to be continuing to track any rotation. Should anything else come up, we will, of course, let you know. But as of right now, at about 6:25 Tuesday evening, we do not have any active tornado warnings in the area, just the severe thunderstorm warnings that Jay had just mentioned.
Yep. So we're not sure if we're going to do a quick little news, or are we going to stay on until 6:30, folks in the back? We'll continue talking till they let us know, but we're still tracking the severe weather out there. The good news is that the active tornado warnings have been canceled. So that's the good news. The bad news is that, yes, we needed the rain, but still have some damage and wind possibilities this evening. We still have the chance for some hail this evening, and still watching some areas of rotation within these storms. So even though it's a severe thunderstorm warning, it's not like there's a 0% chance for some kind of a quick spin up or a quick funnel cloud to form as they roll through. So we're looking here. Okay, so the severe thunderstorm warning for Wood County continues. That's until is it
7:30. 7:15, excuse me.
for Wood County.
7:15.
So that's the longest warning we have. The rest of them until about 6:30 tonight, 6:45. And the idea is that if you live in this area, be prepared for these showers and storms to come rumbling through.
Absolutely. We'll be watching.
Be watching here. We're going to go to a break really quickly, come back. We'll break in as needed with more weather coverage. Stay with 13 ABC.